Hi everyone, this is Paul here for the Magdalene Centre. Today I'm doing the weekly Science and Seasons report for the week commencing the 3rd of December, outlining the various aspects taking place and the overall themes for the week. So, as I said on previous videos, these reports don't tell us exactly what's going to happen, they just identify the influences, because we all have free will and it's our responsibility to use our free will wisely. But astrology doesn't control us in any way, shape or form. It's just like a weather report. It shows us the influences of what's going on in the energy around us, and if we understand what's going on there, we can align with it and make more conscious decisions as to how we invest our energy and what actions we take during the week. So I'll start off with the moon through the signs as usual. So we begin with the moon in her home sign of Cancer. So this is a time of connecting with our roots, of feeling our emotional nature, and engaging in the flow of the emotions without being swamped by them. But the moon will quickly move into Leo on Wednesday itself, so this will be a shift towards our authentic self-expression. So it's connecting with our creative abilities, creative energies, and expressing ourselves in an authentic way. So we're not pretending to be anything we're not, we're just expressing our playful natures, honouring that inner child within us where all that energy is coming from, and just learning to embrace and love creativity. Then on Friday, the moon will move into Virgo, so this is a time where we're looking more at efficiency, dealing with the practicalities of life, and getting tasks that need to be done sorted and completed, and doing things that are detail oriented. Then on Sunday, the moon will move into Libra, and this will be a time where we may decide to spend time with other people rather than spending time ourselves, and connecting with and working with each other on collective projects rather than trying to do it all on our own, and just working in partnerships with one another. And then on Tuesday, the moon will move into Scorpio, and this will be a time of emotionally connecting with the deeper levels of ourselves, of facing the unconscious mind, feeling the emotional charges within it, and letting go of old emotional patterns that served us at one point in our lives but are actually holding us back now. So if we follow the moon, we may well be able to emotionally release some of the energies from Scorpio if we're holding on to any emotional patterns. Now, in terms of the actual planets themselves, we obviously have the Sun is up in Capricorn, as will be up until the 20th. So the Sun, Saturn, Lilith and Pluto all in Capricorn at the moment, as is Venus. So we have a stellium here. We have 5 planets all concentrating their energies here, and this means that, and this won't be the first time this happens this year. Capricorn is going to be a key theme throughout the year, thanks to Saturn in Capricorn and also Pluto in Capricorn. But Lilith is here as well, and she won't move out of Capricorn until August. So during this time, we need to be looking at, where do we cling to masks? Where do we allow masks that we've worn for a long time to hide our identity or hide who we really are? And where are we ashamed of ourselves? Where do we let shame, guilt or fear stop us from being our authentic selves? This is the main role of Lilith here, is understanding who we are, but knowing what have we been suppressing, what have we been hiding inside us because of need to, or feel like the need to wear a mask, and what has been getting distorted whilst we've been clinging to this mask and trying to tie our identity to it. Because at the end of the day, we're not the masks, they just help us, or they provide a role for a certain part of life. We need to be able to take these masks off at will, so we don't confuse our masks for who we really are. Otherwise we end up with a lot of distortion inside us, and the higher side of Capricorn, which is integrity, of patience, perseverance and commitment, these things get distorted and we end up using these for the wrong project or the wrong long-term goal, because we're doing something that will bring us social approval rather than something that will honour who we are as individuals and be an outward manifestation of who we are. Because, you know, think about people who, when you meet them, it's a case of what you see is what you get. These are people who you see them and they're not bothering to wear masks, not pretending to be anything anymore. They're not interested in that. They'll tell it as it is. If you don't like it, tough. They're just being who they are, and they're not prepared to put a mask on in order to please other people. If people like them, fantastic. If not, that's also fine. They're not going to lose any sleep over what other people think of them. They're just happy being who they are. And this is something that we all need to achieve at some level, is to stop allowing social approval to dictate who we are. We need to get comfortable with who we are as individuals, because we're the only person who are with us 100% of the time. Everyone else will be away from certain periods, and if we're not happy with ourselves, then we're not going to be happy in general. We can pretend to be someone else for other people, but it wears thin. Eventually the masks drop, and we can either have the mask wrenched off our face, or we can take the mask off ourselves and have the courage to say, look, this is who I am. I can't pretend to be something else. I can't pretend to be something to satisfy you. If you don't like it, tough. So we have to get real here, and Saturn in Capricorn is also emphasising this, is being or developing integrity, where our outward, what we're doing with our lives, our actions, is aligned with what we say we're going to do. So it's about integrity. Now the other aspect, and the other key bit, is at the moment is Mars and Jupiter are going to be in a direct or in an exact conjunction on Sunday. So this is a time when our desires and our sense of expansion are so close together that we can't really separate them. But with it being in Scorpio, this is about delving deep into the shadow side, of delving into the parts of ourselves that we've hidden from for a long time, and having the courage to bring our light into our shadow and recognise where hidden desires that are based around ego rather than the soul may be sabotaging our intentions, or maybe sabotaging our attempts to fulfil our highest purpose. They may well be working across purposes to what we want to be doing, or what is true to who we are. So it's important that we delve deep into Scorpio, delve deep into the unconscious, and shine a light there, so that we can get rid of any past conditioning, past emotional complexes which sabotage our efforts, and get rid of any relationships with power that are based on controlling or manipulating other people, or based on the notion that we're powerless. Because the shadow side of us isn't all bad. There will be gifts in there as well. So we're not just illuminating the bad side of us. There will be gifts in the shadow as well. There will be strengths we're not aware of because we haven't developed them. But we won't know about these strengths unless we do this work of going to the shadow side, unlocking those potentials within us, becoming aware of these gifts, aware of these deep strengths and these deep wells of resources within us that only make themselves known through exploring our shadow rather than hiding from it. So this will be a key theme with Mars and Jupiter in Scorpio. The Sun will be in exact conjunction with Pluto as well on the 9th. So this is a time where we may well feel that our identity is being challenged by something deeper within us, because we all have a conscious sense of who we are, but there's far more in the unconscious mind than there is in the conscious. And with Pluto and the Sun coming together, Pluto may well challenge us to see the deeper levels of who we are and say, well, these parts are also true, these shadow aspects that you haven't dealt with are also part of who you are at the moment. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to transform these by accepting them, embracing them, and learning to love them, so that they no longer are part of the shadow, they are drawn into the light, where they can be transformed and turned into a strength rather than a weakness? So this is a time of going deep within ourselves, exploring our own personal weaknesses, exploring where we sabotage ourselves in one way or another, and letting them go. Is by not resisting them, not judging them, because we judge them, it's just going to strengthen that part, because we'll be rejecting a part of who we are. It's bringing it into the light through acceptance, through learning to love that side of us, and by loving it rather than resisting it, it will automatically transform, and we can achieve that sense of peace that we all say we want, but do we really, if we're allowing the ego to control everything? So this is a period where we have an opportunity to transform our sense of self through exploring the shadow side, of overcoming any tendencies which undermine our integrity, and by transforming our personal desires and to get rid of any fears that undermine our efforts, this will aid us in our commitment towards whatever goals we set for ourselves in the long term, that will require commitment and dedication in order for these goals to be realised, because they're not something you can just do on the slide, not something you can do as through hacking your way in or using shortcuts. These are goals that we can only achieve through consistent, steady action on a day-by-day basis, and the results of which we don't see immediately, we see in the long term. But if we can engage in things like self-denial, and by that I mean learning to overcome the need to satiate our egoic desires or instant gratification, and learn delayed gratification, and realise that sometimes the greatest gifts and the greatest benefits don't make themselves known immediately. There's something that we work towards bit by bit, but in the long run they make a massive difference in our lives, and because we've done it through commitment and dedication rather than trying to use shortcuts, we also have that sense of accomplishment and that knowledge that we did it through hard work and effort. We didn't try to cheat our way, we didn't try to use shortcuts, we did it the hard way, and as a result that is something no one can take away from us, because it's a reflection of our effort rather than a reflection of trying to take shortcuts all the time. So I hope it's a useful guide for what we can expect this week. There's plenty of opportunities there for us to transform, but as I said, we have to take or make use of these. It's not something that will just happen to us. It's a set of influences that highlight the potentials, but if we don't seize them, nothing's going to happen. We're not going to make any further forward than we are now. So we have to actually engage with the process and take the steps on a day-by-day basis to achieve the goals we want, and to transform as individuals to become much stronger and self-sufficient in the long run, and more empowered by overcoming our shadow. So may this week bring you many blessings. Take care.